Electronics and Information Technology has sent a final notice to Twitter asking it to abide by the norms under the new IT or face consequences over non-compliance. In a strong worded letter, the IT minister wrote that till date, Twitter has not informed about the details of the chief compliance officer as required under the rule. Further, resident grievance officer and nodal contact person nominated by you is not an employee of Twitter International in India as prescribed by the rule. The office address of Twitter International as mentioned by you is that of a law firm in India, which is also not as part of the rule. The ministry stressed that after more than a week, Twitter continues to refuse to comply with the provision of these acts. Needless to state, such non-compliance will lead to unintended consequences, including Twitter losing exemptions from liability as intermediary available under Section 79 of the Information Technology Act 2000, the ministry warned. According to the IT ministry, the refusal to comply demonstrates Twitter's lack of commitment and effort towards providing a safe environment experience for Indian users on its platform. Despite being operational for more than a decade, it is beyond belief that Twitter International has largely refused to create mechanisms that will enable the people of India to resolve their issues on the platform in a timely and transparent manner and through a fair process by India-based clearly identified resources. Leave alone proactively create such a mechanism. Twitter International is in the inglorious bracket of refusing to do so even when mandated by law. It wrote criticizing the microblogging platform. The IT ministry emphasized that Indian users deserve and demand a fair mechanism to address their grievances and resolve disputes. Users who are abused on the platform or harassed or are subject to defamation of sexual abuse or become victims of a whole range of other abusive content must get a redressal mechanism that the same people of India have created through a due process of law. As a gesture of goodwill, Twitter has been given one final notice to immediately comply or else face the withdrawal of exemption from liability available under Section 79 of the IT Act 2000. The new IT rules and what Twitter stands to lose. The new IT rules for social media companies, which came into effect on May 26, were announced on February 25th. They require social media giants to follow additional due diligence, including the appointment of a chief compliance officer, nodal contact person, and resident grievance officer. Platform with over 50 lakh registered users, categorized as significant social media, were given 3 months to comply with the additional requirement of non-compliance will result in these platforms losing the status that enables them to have immunity from liabilities or any third-party information and data hosted by them. Simply put, without compliance, social media companies can be liable to face action with respect to content posted on their respective platforms.